Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us across the fence. I'm Fran Stoddard. Buying a car is one of life's biggest expenses. And because there is so much to know, we're following up on last month's Consumer Connection when we discussed buying a new or used car. Today we're going to discuss tips on leasing a car, and we'll also touch on how to manage auto repairs. For Consumer Connection, we call on the experts at the Vermont Attorney General's Consumer Assistance Program at the University of Vermont. And joining us via Zoom from the Consumer Assistance Office is Assistant Director Lisa Jensen. Good to have you with us again, Lisa.
Oh, well, thanks. It's great to be back. And as you said, this is a big topic, so lots to share, and thank you for having us back.
You bet. So with prices for new and used cars reaching still record levels and highs, and since the car is a major expense, is there anything you want to recap from our program from last month?
Yes, I would love to. 3 takeaways from last month. First, please get your financing. Shop around for your financing before you go and shop for a car. It's important to know what you can afford and what your monthly payments will be. Second, buying a new car, know the incentives, do your research, review that sticker on the window. And if you're buying a used car, look for the buyer's guide as well on the window, which will tell you, is this a car that is being sold as is? Do I have a warranty? And with the used car, get that pre-purchase inspection. And lastly, shop around, do your research, and please call our office if you have any questions.
Okay, great tips. And so let's talk about leasing. Leasing a new car. What are some important tips you can share with consumers? What is at the top of your list?
Top of the list is, again, know what you can afford. Call 3 different dealers. If you know what make and model car you would like to lease, call the dealer, stop in the dealer. Find out what is the lease package that they're offering. Does that fit into your monthly budget? And there's a difference, second point, most important, there is a difference between, most people know, between buying a car and leasing a car. So when you're leasing a car, you're paying to borrow that car, and you're borrowing that car for a certain amount of time and committing to drive under a certain amount of miles. And you have to return the car in good condition. I leased a couple cars, and that was the biggest challenge for me, is to keep my car clean.
And in good repair. So,
Yes.
So how does a consumer know if leasing is the best option for them?
Yes. So first, you really want to think about how much are you going to drive per year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are going to drive, let's say an average lease package is 12,000 miles or less, let's say for 3 years. So most standard leases are that if you exceed this mileage limit, you're going to be charged a mileage penalty when you return the car. And that additional charge could be as high as 30 cents per mile. Secondly, consider all of the lease terms. So you really, really need to take the time to read that lease. You'll have to service the car per the manufacturer's warranty. You'll have to maintain insurance that meets a leasing standard. And you have end of the lease responsibility. So really looking at what is that total cost. And remember, a lease is a binding contract. So don't forget, it's not just a monthly payment. You're paying to borrow this car, and you're obligated for that full term of the lease.
Right. So the contract, I think, is a really good term for it. And another term that talks about the differences between owning and leasing is the word equity. So let's get into that a little bit.
Absolutely. This is really, really a key difference. You do not have equity in a leased car other than the option to buy the car at the end of the lease. So know what that cost might be. Little, this I want to clarify that it's always good to talk to a tax consultant and check the IRS website. But if you're a small business, you may be able to use the lease payment as a deduction if you're not using the standard mileage deduction. So again, with an asterisk there, make sure you check with the IRS on this option for a small business.
Right.
And lastly, please negotiate. Lease prices are like car prices. They're negotiable. Take your time. Take your time. Consider all the options carefully and don't be pressured. Even if you have to rent a car for a few weeks while you decide, take your time because you are committing to this contract.
Right, really great advice. And typically, what are the end of lease responsibilities? It seems like that's where some people can get into trouble.
Yes, yes. So the end of the lease tends to come pretty quickly. So again, the consumer is responsible for any excessive wear and tear. So that is a key point during this contract is to take good care of the car, keep it clean. If the consumer for some reason has to turn in that lease early, they most likely will be charged a termination fee. And again, that would be in the lease agreement as well. And there's also typically what's called a disposition fee. And that is a fee that is charged by the dealer to cover costs to get the car back into the market. If you're going to roll into a new lease with the same dealer, they may waive that disposition fee. So I'm even thinking about this contract and maybe read it backwards. Start with like, what do I need? What at the end of this lease, what am I responsible for? And make sure you understand those key points.
Absolutely. So a disposition fee, would that be in the contract and the number of whether it's 2 years or 1, 2, or 3 years, that would be all
Yes.
in the contract and very clear.
And that's a very important question to ask the dealer. Like, tell me about the disposition fee. Do you charge one? What would that look like if I want to buy the car? What would that look like if I want to lease another car from you? What if I'm just gonna, end this relationship and what will I be charged? So really just having the conversation, understanding the terms before you sign anything is really important for any consumer contract.
Sure, and read it well. And of course, there are many reputable dealers who lease cars. How many should I visit before making a decision?
We suggest 3. I think again, you can visit, you can give them a call, you can do some research on their website before you call. So know that you don't physically have to go to the dealer if that's not an option for someone. You can have the conversation on the phone, but then again, you want to see those documents, you want to read those, take your time before you commit.
Okay, it's great tips on leasing a car, but let's also touch on maintenance and repair. Few of us really actually read the owner's manual. We really should. So you get a decent amount of complaints here. So talk about repair.
Yes. So in our top 10 complaints per year, we do a report, and automobile complaints are in the top 10. And whether it's buying a car, leasing a car, or an auto repair. So absolutely, that's another tip or habit that we should all be in is like read that manual, at least read the table of contents, know what's there, read what's important, especially the maintenance. You have to understand what the manufacturer is requiring you in terms of maintaining that vehicle. And even if it's a new car or a used car, hopefully if you bought a used car, it also came with all the records of the maintenance of the car. So you know how this car has been taken care of. And that's the other key piece is we should all keep our repair slips, our receipts.
Right.
It's a value to the car, and if you choose to sell it even privately, you are showing good faith that you took good care of this car. And as I drove to work today, it started to hail. I don't have my snow tires on yet. So if you do need snow tires, a reminder to all.
I have my appointment. Now's the time. So,
Yes.
well, car repairs really are inevitable. What do you want consumers to know about, before they take their car in for service?
Mm-hmm. So know if you have, which you should, do you have a manufacturer's warranty? If you do, the repair should be covered. If it's a used car that you have and you bought it from a dealer, do you have a dealer warranty? What is covered under that warranty? So you know what to expect in terms of a repair cost. Some people choose to buy an extended warranty. Again, that's a binding contract. We really recommend consumers take the time to read those. That's typically, a consumer could buy that, let's say, after the manufacturer warranty expires. So they have sort of an additional warranty. Or for a used car, a dealer may offer to sell a product, which is this extended warranty.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute, because I think everybody gets these calls about extended warranties that are actually a scam. Quickly.
Yes. So you will get a call that will say, and actually we've heard people get emails that will get calls. Your warranty has expired. We have an extended warranty. We know your VIN number. These are scammers trying to get your personal information. If they probably don't have your VIN number, but they're really trying to fish out your personal information. And I get calls from folks that say, I don't even own a car. I don't know why they're calling me.
Well, Lisa, so we'll watch for those, but quickly, how do we contact you if we want to be in touch?
Yes. 2 ways to contact us. So especially if you want to report a scam, we have a specific scam reporting form. Please go to ago.vermont.gov/cap/stopping scams or call our office at 1-800-649-2424.
Okay, thank you so much, Lisa, for all your great information.
Thank you, Fran. It was great to be here again.
See you. And thank you for joining us across the fence. I'm Fran Stoddard. Stay well.